5/7 years, 20214. A man carrying tent, sleeping bag, self-drying rice, and other equipment was sneaking up the mountain from the border village at the foot of the Chin to make a journey across the clam route. But only a day later, after posting your last status to your circle of friends, WeChat moments, he's completely gone in the depths of the Chin. 1 month later, a person who violates another cross-border ban, also stealthily carrying a bicycle, also from the border village, climbing to the frequency, and also began the journey across the clam route. But this time, the difference is that he's not only safe, step out of the queue, but also bring back a hiking friend. He had disappeared more than a month earlier. About the clams of the Qin dynasty, probably everyone. I also had a little understanding. This high dangerous route between Clam Mountains and Tai Bok Mountains, and prepare to get back to the problem. A total length of about 170 kilometers. Most of the sections are high, over 3,000 meters above sea level along the way. Need to cross countless rugged rock fields. Was formed from glacial remains. It's easy to get into accidents, slip and fall and so on. But the most deadly thing on the clam gland, it's extreme weather and constant change, because it's in the core of the north-south geographic demarcation line of our country. The climate here is extremely unstable. Every year, there is a saying that a 4-season day is 10 miles away. The members, usually the front line is still clear. The back wire could have come in the clouds, under heavy rain, hail, even the snow. Just a small carelessness. There may also be a risk of hypothermia. Out of the areas that the clam route goes through, they're all in an uninhabited area. Communication is very weak. There are no supply points along the way. Once something goes wrong, it's hard for people to call for help from the outside. So in year 2, not 18, local government has issued a notice banning transclam. Completely banned all illegal clam crossing activities. A campaign, though. There are still a lot of outdoor enthusiasts. Despite the ban on risking your life, the previous class fell. The next class continues on this path of life and death. Dawn 5/7 years, 20214. A man who stealthily set out from the border village to start the journey across the clam route. Known. This man's name is Ma Mo, originally from Hunan. 25-year-old, loves cycling and hiking outdoors. I used to bike to Tibet alone, Shanghai, and many other places. My plan to walk this time is to take a trip through the clam route. Last for days, carrying heavy loads, so this walk. I brought a sleeping bag tent, self-drying rice climbing shoes, and many other items later on. It seems that the full preparation of this material has influenced the opposite of your own judgment. The first way, maybe because I'm not familiar with the road, or maybe because I'm late. Safe. So around 4 p.m., the new prototype only goes up to where the altitude is. About 2,500 meters. The time is quite late, so the first night I chose to camp here. The main of the story, morning 6/7. It's about 2,900 meters high here. I posted my last status on my circle of friends. Content of this status stream, it's a picture against the backdrop of the mountains of Qin. But it's remarkable that, from this photo, we can see the weather right now. Deep in the Qin mountains, it was overcast. The clouds are so thick, but right now, the model doesn't seem to mind that. After posting the status line, the horse continued his walking journey along the clam gland and this state line. It was also his last contact with the outside world. and prepare to return. 10/7 Friends of Hat Code. Because I can't contact you forever. Notify your family. And then immediately report it to the police on July 11th. Police and many civilian rescue teams. It was quickly activated. Search rang. The first rescue. But because the code was alone, there is no companion. There is no detailed information about the journey. Plus, there's a thick fog on the mountain right now. The rain is relentless. Forever can't move forward. So the rescue team, we can only rely on the last clue of the code. Follow the usual route. Focus on the areas you might have been in. But after days of control, in the heavy rain and thick fog, rescuers have 6 at every intersection. A possible turn into the shelter, but still no trace of the prototype code. The final campaign, the search and rescue, lasted for nearly 10 days, closed with a search notice, hanging the 100,000 yuan prize at the foot of the mountain. At dawn on August 11, a month after the original code lost contact, there's another cross-border violation. Bring some supplies. Sneaky bike ride up the mountain. It's an outdoor travel blogger. It's given a nickname by netizens. Take the cutest name. The most intense work. Hitchhiker discharge. At 9 o'clock that morning, he is strong. So Jiang cycled near the temple of the King of Medicine. Because the time you chose to go up the mountain was July. August rarely has 3 sunny days in a row. So here we are. I've met a lot of travel lovers. I also made a journey through the clam route like myself. It's also very different compared to the previous prototype code. At about 12 o'clock in the afternoon, he came near the waterhole. Here, I met a group of travel lovers. Go through other heavy loads and pay with them. But then, as we're going through more and more rock fields, he could only carry a bicycle on his shoulder. They can move because of that. You are slowly separating from the group. About 6 p.m., he came close to the 3rd plane. Here you catch up. 2 people who love to travel, carrying heavy loads that were left behind. After seeing him strong, they asked me to find the people who came before. Tell them that one guy in the back can't walk anymore. Tell them to wait. I see it getting darker, and my water tank is about to run out. Plus, right now, I have always thought cycling is for self-protection. The strong man accepted immediately, and so on after borrowing half their water bottle. The old man left the bike and go chase the group in front. Not being bothered by the bike, his speed is almost 3 times faster. At 8 p.m., the strong man near Camp 2800 caught up to the group and delivered the message. What a coincidence. Here I meet some travel lovers again. I've been with you in Waterloo before. So he asked them to lend him a tent and spent the night at Camp 2800. Morning, 12/8. 2 people who were late last night didn't make it. So their companions are once again. Ask him to come back and see the situation. Listen to this. Strong old man. I think my bike is still behind me. So also accept it. 7 a.m., 12/8, after having breakfast with everyone. He turned around and ran. Half an hour later, I met 2 friends who were left behind. After the message is finished, the strong man kept coming back to find my bike. About 10 a.m., the bicycle-pushing old man reappeared at Camp 2800. But because the weather forecast says, today is the last sunny day, so he decided not to take the risk of chasing her. You guys love to travel in the front. We chose to start down the mountain from here. And the route down the mountain you chose, that's what we talked about in the video. Before 2 years, the 211, when the conspirator went down the mountain for help, I went along that peach face route. But because of this road, it's been a long time since anyone left. So the path isn't very clear. On the way down the mountain, the old man was walking and constantly comparing the route. Fortunately, it was a little slow, but along the way, still pretty smooth. About 12 noon, he leisurely arrived at an altitude of more than 2,400 meters. This is the time. I suddenly saw it in the distance. There was a tent in the forest. Even though the old man looked a little strange, but in my heart, I'm happy. Because even though SAO need a travel lover on this road, it's not easy even. The old man began to think of a way to talk with this travel lover. And also wonder, when I see myself pushing my bike, are you surprised? But the closer you get, the stronger he feels, the worse he feels. Because the closer to the tent, the more I smell an ineffable smell. And I also found out, on the tent, Chi chases flies. The tent's zipper is also opening. The old man began to realize that something was wrong. I know that, in this case, there's no AI in the tent. However, I know what is wrong. But when I get to the front of the tent, out of curiosity, the strong man still held a stick to a crevice in a corner of the tent. If you don't look, stop looking. He has 2 soft legs. The heart rate immediately goes up to 180. Watching the unspeakable scene in the tent, I'm reminded of the search notice. At the top of the mountain, through the tent. I can probably guess it was him at the time. Deep in his heart, there was a fear. Of course I'm not afraid of the person in the tent. It's thinking about what made it. He has to stay here. Is it an animal or something else? Because the people in the tent carry so much equipment. I only have a bicycle. But after a calm, the strong man thought no more, decided to take a picture as evidence. Then down the mountain. You are responsible for coming down this mountain. His footsteps are strong. It's much faster than before. Even along this road, I met a bear and a wild boar, the wrong way into the cave. But finally, the strong man got out of the mountain safely. Even though I met a lot of fans, it's about 4 p.m. out of the mountain. The old man quickly went to the police station to report the news. Then through the inspection, just as the strong man predicted. People in distress, that's the prototype code that's been missing for 37 days. Cause of death has ruled out elements of human and animal attack. We are here, but not all the details. About the death of the code. But we also have the basic assumption that Ra, the main development of the case. Let's go back in time to Anam Pertuju, after posting your last status to your circle of friends. Code. It continues to go deep into the interior of the clam. Even now, I've also noticed a change in the weather. Maybe because I thought I was fully prepared. Or for some other reason. I didn't take it personally. But look at the July weather. Year 20214 of Thai Bach District to 7/7. The weather has changed from small rain to heavy rain. And based on time travel, it's now. The prototype code must be there, near the camp area, 2800. So maybe the prototype code spent the night here. However, maybe the weather on the mountain is different than at the foot. Weather for weatherboard. 8/7 has turned into a small rain. But on the mountain, the rain must be very heavy. Maybe because I thought I couldn't go all the way. The rest of the way. The original decision to retreat according to the Peach County Road. This also explains why, after rescuers went up the mountain on July 11th, they searched every possible route, and still no trace of the prototype code. But as we said in the video about Mew, this road can't go on a rainy day. Maybe the moon hat, until we get down to an altitude of about 2,400 meters. Just realized the problem. That's why we're spending another night here. However, it was this night that the heavy rain lasted for many days. Temperature drops sharply, plus the fact that I walked in the rain for days. Your body temperature is also affected. Last in my sleep that night, the mother never woke up again. Until a month later, when he is strong, it's possible to get out of the deep mountains. But the story is not over because after the elder posted his experiences on social networks, someone wrote a post saying, even before the strong man, someone saw the horse's tent. And not just one person. It's just these people, for fear of being fined for violating the cross-border ban. After coming down the mountain, they didn't choose to call the police. But the truth of these rumors is still to be verified. However, if these rumors are true, it can also be explained. Because of the tent that the strong man saw, there's a zipper opening. Finally, there's another point worth mentioning. I went down the mountain and called the police. The old man did not choose to receive the 100,000 yuan bonus, but voluntarily received a fine of 5,000 RMB. Although that courage and goodwill is admirable, but it also pasted a statement. Don't violate the ban to cross the clam. Because if it works, he will be fined 5,000 yuan if he fails. It will stay there forever.